weirdos.
Hello, you are watching Keep It Weird.
Keep it weird.
The podcast for all things strange and unusual and paranormal and supernatural and
we did it so well. Gross, scary, and everything in between. We did it so well that one day and never again. It was rolling off the tongue.
We did a really good job. I'm Ashley. This is my co-host Lauren.
Hi.
We never say that.
No.
We should probably
never do. We should start introducing ourselves.
My hair's down.
So is mine. It's so rare that it's both of us.
This is the first video we've had where my hair's been down. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare all the time. Bye, Gabby.
And usually we either both have it up or there's been a couple times, maybe just once where I had mine down. Yeah. But we've never both had it down. Welcome
to hair, the hair episode. The hair
Mine's like
episode.
Dreadlocks right now.
Yeah, mine's kind of a nightmare. I don't really know what's going on. I can't really run my fingers through it.
I know. I tried to a second ago and on camera just got stuck. So sorry, everyone.
Got trapped in there. We miss you guys. It has been a while.
It's been a minute.
October got a little crazier than we anticipated.
It really did. Which sucks because, as we've said multiple times, October is like our month. It's where we shine. But I feel like the beginning was good. No. The beginning was good. I feel like we were really strong at the beginning. Got to do lots of fun stuff. We're all up on the Halloween challenges. And then the end of the month just sort of fell off. She went out of town. I went out of town. Everyone went out of town.
Everyone was out of town.
And we didn't get to dress up together. No.
We are going to next month, though.
Yeah, we really are.
We're going to have a December Halloween party.
Sorry about it. We will be at your local bar in costume.
Your
for no
local
reason.
bar.
Yours.
/ our
It's going to be
local
ours.
bar.
You might be there. I don't know.
We'll text you.
We'll let you know. You can come meet us if you want. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Business.
Hello. Welcome to our news segment.
This Week in Weird!
Hi. Oh, I'm first.
Go for it.
You know what? Pretty dry in the old news segment
area,
right?
Really agreed.
Okay.
I was struggling because we tried to do this last week too, and I was looking at Ashley like, there's nothing. There's nothing.
I have my same notes from last week, but I was like, this is nothing. Maybe I'll get something better by next week. I didn't. But I still have some fun stuff. So.
Yeah, I think mine are decent. I'm also worried because there's no news. We might have the same thing, but probably not.
Great.
We'll see.
Well, we'll see. And even this says, last Sunday, it wasn't last Sunday, it was 2 Sundays ago now. 2 Sundays ago, November 12th, a cargo spacecraft blasted off to the International Space Station to deliver supplies and some fascinating science experiments to the Expedition 53 crew. Packed inside the craft are more than 7,700 pounds of food, clothing, hardware, and other supplies for the crew, and also along for the ride will be batches of live bacteria such as E. coli and Staphylococcus. Do you say it Staphylococcus?
Staphylococcus, I think so.
Mealworms, microclover seeds, and some other fauna that the crew will use to study ways to improve life on Earth.
Interesting.
Having bacteria like E. coli aboard the space station may not seem ideal for people living on the space station.
Right?
And it's not. But it will actually help researchers study antibiotic resistance. So staph infection, for example, they've already discovered that microgravity-induced molecular alterations, causes it to change color from its normal gold to clear. And when that happens, it causes the bacteria to lose the ability to cause disease.
Okay.
So by researching the mechanisms within the virus that change during growth in microgravity, the research could lead to drug discovery and new therapies. So
okay,
it's pretty tight.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
It's
it's all for the better good.
Yeah,
but
sucks for you guys.
What if they? Yeah, so they're just going to be exposed to this stuff and hope we're all right.
Hope we're fine, because E. coli and staph could kill you.
Right.
If you get a bad enough infection.
Right.
But along with the horrible, disgusting diseases that are being transported up there, they're also sending up plants, which they will study how they grow in microgravity. And they're going to be testing different technologies regarding communications on Earth, the tracking of ocean vessels and planes, and something really super cool, They are going to be testing a virtual reality camera that can shoot video in 3D and 360 degrees, and they will be filming an episode for a show called One Strange Rock on the National Geographic Channel, basically showing a day in the life on a space station.
Oh, that's actually cool. Awesome. Yeah, I've always wanted to watch something like that.
Well, because you always see the clips. It's like, this is what it looks like when I cry in space. Or
here's my toothpaste going in the air.
Pudding in space. Right. Like, stuff like that.
I want to see,
what happens when you wake up? How do you go to sleep? Do you put on PJs? What's happening?
Do you go into a pod like we've seen in the movies?
Do you go into a
hypersleep? What happens? I don't know. That's what happens for sure.
A lot of gases.
Yeah, I would love to watch that. That would be really, really cool.
I'm in.
It
looks awesome.
Sold.
Sounds awesome. I don't know.
Sounds, looks. Well, staying on the science track, I have a little science news. A scientist is attempting to make himself superhuman by editing his own DNA, and he wants to boost his muscle strength and growth.
What could go wrong?
Right? So, biochemist Josiah Zahner has become the first person known to have edited his DNA with the CRISPR tool. And I was like, what's that?
What?
Did a little more research on that. So, side note, CRISPR stands for, it's CRISPR. You say it like CRISPR, but it's missing that little E at the end.
Does that have anything to do with Crispin Glover, my favorite person?
Yes. No, it doesn't. Stands for Clustered Regularly Interspaced Short Palindromic Repeats. Of course, that's what I guessed. Repeats. But I needed them.
I figured.
Which are the hallmark of a bacterial defense system that forms the basis for CRISPR genome editing technology. So CRISPR stands for that actual defense system, and then there's a CRISPR tool that is used to edit those genomes. And so, scientists have been playing around with it, and this guy is like, hey, I'm going to take that and edit some stuff in my body. So this ex-NASA worker removed myostatin, which inhibits muscle growth, with the gene-cutting technology and said, this is the first time in history that we are no longer slaves to our genetics. He's like, let's get out there and see what we can do. This technology is actually highly regulated in the US and UK, and it's not illegal to edit your own DNA. Mr. Zahner, whose firm sells do-it-yourself gene editing kits, live-streamed himself injecting this modified copy of his DNA into himself. He initially expects to see muscle growth in his arm that he injected it in, and another U.S. biohacker plans to insert a genetic mutation that lets humans see on the ultraviolet spectrum. So that's another thing that could possibly happen, which would be crazy.
Don't you think... And I'm not a person who's like, we should test the animals. I don't like animal testing, but don't you think maybe
test it on the animal instead
first,
of a person?
I don't know.
But it's this guy's choice. He's a crazy.
It's his body. It's your body. That's why I say to women when they want plastic surgery. That's what I'll say to scientists when they want muscle shots.
Muscle shot things. I know, it's like this guy, he wanted to do it. I don't think anyone could stop him. So it's like, I don't think he's just for the sake of science. He's like, well, I'm going to do it. It's not illegal. We have these kits. London-based CRISPR researcher Robin Lovell warned of adverse reactions, but University of Manchester biochemist John Harris said there is a long history of scientists experimenting on themselves, and it's not that crazy of a theory. So the science world is a little torn on it, which is why I read those two little quotes. But for the most part, it is legal. People have been experimenting on themselves, not to this extreme, but it's like...
Yeah, this seems pretty...
This seems pretty nuts. But, yeah, we're going to see what happens. He's doing it. This happened 2 days ago when this article came out, so I don't think we've heard what the results are. But stay tuned. Follow the story. I'm sure if you just Googled,
other news,
man edits his genes.
Man-eating man rampages
destroys
through New
the
York.
world. Knocking buildings. Yeah, that's probably...
It's just like Rampage, but with a giant scientist instead of a giant monkey.
A giant scientist.
Did you see that there's a Rampage movie?
No.
Do you remember the video game
of
Rampage?
Course.
There's a Rampage movie starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I mean, I'm not surprised that it
so
stars
bad.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. It's probably garbage, but should we see it? Maybe.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Let's check it
out.
out.
I'm going to go see it.
Of course.
I'm going to see it.
Is that a question?
Is that even a question? Speaking of movies, did you hear about the Are You Afraid of the Dark movie that's coming out?
No!
Yep!
What?
Yep!
That makes me so happy.
It was just announced by Paramount. I don't know if Paramount... Okay. I mean, obviously Paramount's doing it. Paramount is like a parent company to several other companies, so I don't know if it's like a Paramount or if it's... Anyways. People are really excited because it's being written by Gary Dauberman, who wrote the new version of It.
Okay.
Which, here's the thing, Stephen King wrote It. So I don't know how much credit we can give to him as being a great writer for the movie It. But at the same time, Are You Afraid of the Dark already been written. All he has to do is
now
rewrite
he's
it
making
into
his own version.
A movie.
And I'm one of the few people that enjoyed the new movie It, so I'm a fan of this guy.
Didn't see it. I know, I couldn't.
I know.
My heart.
No, I get it. You don't have to explain yourself. I get you.
I don't know. So they are anticipating a pretty cool high-profile cast to come on board due to the success of It this summer. Other than that, there are literally no other details available. It was like, we're doing the thing, and then that's...
So it's very early still, but, I mean, that's so exciting.
Yes, but I do know the other thing that he was talking about is it is going to be dark. I don't know if it's still going to be
so it won't be like TVY7 like it was.
No, but I don't know. You'd think that it would at least be kid-friendly in some way.
Right. I think it's okay to be dark and still go towards at least like preteens or like someone younger. I don't think it should be like R and be crazy. Yeah, exactly.
That's the darkest shit I've ever seen.
It is, and it's for kids.
It's a sequel to Wizard of Oz. Nuts.
Totally. I mean, and I thought, like, you're going to laugh at me because of the ridiculous songs in this movie, but no, Labyrinth, like, with David Bowie, like, I think that has some dark, weird turns, but I watched it as a child, and I was, like, a little scared, but loved it enough to conquer the fear, but no.
And I thought the Goosebumps movie was so much fun.
So fun. Yeah, so I think you can do dark for kids. Just don't do rated R or, like, awful. I think you gotta know your audience.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I feel like either way, it's gonna be cool. Like if you did rated R, that would work because everyone who's excited for this movie is our age.
Yeah, I was just gonna
like no child is like I'm a huge Are You Afraid of the Dark fan. Like no one watches Are You Afraid of the Dark except for
such a good point.
People our age. So make it rated
that
R.
like just hit me as you were saying that.
I said.
Make it crazy, make it bloody.
Make it bloody, make it gross, say the F word.
Do what you want. Fart. She meant fart. Yeah, because that's going to be everyone our age. It hasn't been on in years. That's such a good point, and I didn't even think of that.
And it's so cheesy. It's no kids today are going to be like, I love this show.
If kids were to watch it today, they'd be like, why did anyone ever like this? And I would say, you don't even know! Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. That was me spraying.
I got it. I liked it. Our dear friend Nessie, always coming up in conversation.
Love her.
Nessie sightings are at a big high this year.
Oh my god.
Which is the first time in a very long time, and this is also good news for finally finding out if she is real, some researchers say. So, the Loch Ness Monster was just spotted for the 9th time this year, and all the way from America was on the 9th time.
Wait.
Listen. Okay. Diana Turner from Michigan recorded the sighting after spotting it on the Loch Ness webcam, the live cam that people sometimes will just sit and watch.
Like, I know.
I did that too when I first read it. So she spotted it on the camera and like took a screenshot of it. It scans the water near Urquhart Castle in the Scottish Highlands. Diana said she was watching the water where several recent sightings had been made when she spotted a strange wake movement on the water. The sighting lasted about 2 minutes, and other than a boat in the distance, there was no other traffic, so there shouldn't have been movement on the loch. She saw a wake, and it did not appear to be the boat, said Gary Campbell, the recorder and keeper of the official Loch Ness Monster Sightings Register. So I want to meet him.
Picture of this guy,
right?
Meet him for sure.
I know. I feel like he's probably a special guy. No, you're probably great. I'm sorry if you're listening to this. She made the recording on September 29th, but has only notified us of it now, but we are accepting it because it looks accurate, and that means that the number of sightings is the most we have had this century, which sounds crazy, but it means, like, literally this century. The last one was in the 90s, but it's still been a really long time since it's been, like, record highs.
So many,
Yeah, like, 2017 is all of a sudden a big year after, like, so long kind of being, like, maybe one a year.
Maybe she was hibernating.
She was hiding away, just, warming up somewhere. I don't know. But warming up somewhere.
She went to the Bahamas.
She, went on vacay. So it's the most we've had this century. The last highest year was 1996. So the 2000s are finally giving it to us, guys. Some other sightings this year of Nessie that helped her reach this highest point included a 9-year-old boy who visited Scotland earlier this month to see Nessie. Well, I mean, he was with his family, but he was like, I want to see Nessie when we're there. And see it he did.
Child.
He was actually with a doctor who was his mom. His mother said they were looking through their pictures at the end of their vacation. She looked at her son's pictures because she gave him the camera for a little bit, and there were snaps of this fin in all of them, like going on a little arc and going back under. So Sam, little 9-year-old, caught the fin.
Thanks, Sam.
Which is really cool. In June, a Canadian woman took 2 videos of the Loch Ness webcam while watching the water and caught a fin as well. And yeah, there were a couple others. Most people would just see like water moving around. Some people actually caught a fin. So like none of them are like a whole body came up. It's still like weird, crazy things. So Mr. Campbell, the owner of the Register, said 2 of last year's sightings were also taken by webcam. Most watchers are in America, and this encourages him a lot because he's enjoying people are actually invested and really trying to search for Nessie. And he thinks maybe everyone's powers combined will bring her out. We can see her. So already just love this man.
I'm just going to have that on at work. Like
yeah,
my
the webcam on. Seriously.
So like my work computer is just going to be the Nessie webcam.
I would love that. I know. I should start watching it more. I forget that it exists. We've talked about it before. I'm like, I need to tune into this and do some watching. You might catch something. So Mr. Campbell said, there are more people than ever before looking out for Nessie. In recent years, the most sightings in a year that we have had is 17, and that was in 1996. And before that, it was in the 60s and 30s that had the most sightings, sometimes more than 20 in a year.
Jeez.
So this year is turning out to be
Where you at?
I know, where you been? So it's very rare that she's coming out, so it's really cool that we're living in a year that has so many sightings. And Campbell is hopeful because we still have a few more weeks left in the year, guys. We can get it up to 10, 12.
Start watching that webcam.
After fears that the world's most famous monster had gone missing, the first official sighting of Nessie this year was logged on April 28th to the relief of worldwide fans.
I'm relieved.
Because the last previous sighting had been in August of 2016. That was kind of it for 2016. So people are excited again. And he also wanted to stress, Campbell in this article was saying, that a lot of the claimed sightings don't even get included on the register because they turn out to be hoaxes or they turn out to be explained. And he wants everyone to know it is a reputable register, and he only keeps the sightings logged that seem legitimate.
That seem legit or like are unexplainable. Like we cannot. It's not a trash barge. It's not a floating tire.
Totally.
It's not an elephant.
Yeah, it can be proven to be so many things, and he only takes the good ones. Mr. Campbell is 51 years old. He's an accountant, and he just loves Nessie. It all started in 1996, which was the last like crazy year where there were 17 sightings. He said he saw something resembling a mini whale with a black shiny back at the south end of the loch, and ever since then, he has been trying to explain this monster and find this monster and prove that she's real. It's been 21 years, and he's never giving up. He has 1,080 sightings recorded on the register, and Loch Ness Monster is Googled 120,000 times a year, and the monster
18,000 are me.
Is just Ashley. And also, the monster mystery is said to be worth 30 million pounds to the region. Like, people go there just to see Nessie. So they're making all this money based on this little monster being in there. So the Home Office in Scotland even recently rejected a bid by a group of artists from Glasgow to grant the Loch Ness Monster permanent UK residency after Brexit, which I thought was really funny. They had to reject it because it wasn't real, but I was like, good for them for submitting that.
Technically a real person.
Nope, but I love that someone went for that. And then in all seriousness, scientists have revealed that they do have plans to test the DNA of the waters of Loch Ness in order to determine once and for all if Nessie exists. Professor Neil Gemmell will look for traces of unusual DNA by gathering water samples from the Scottish Loch before analyzing them and using police forensic techniques. Professor Gemmell of New Zealand's university thinks this could solve the monster mystery once and for all. So, scientists have gotten more interested. They're like, let's just frickin' do this.
I thought you were going to say scientists have gotten more interesting. I was like, they were really boring last year, but
so
scientists are super interesting.
All of a sudden, I think science is cool. No, it's always been cool, but I like that scientists are like, hey, let's actually do something about this.
Actually, check it out.
Right. People are listening to little Campbell running his registry. So that's... Oh my god! Okay, so that's Loch Ness and Nessie's getting spotted. Okay, on to you.
I liked that. I like the sound that your jacket
I know, my
made.
buttons were snapping.
So, speaking of horror movies, and not scientists at all, even with a month and a half remaining, technically less now because, like I said, this is supposed to be last week. Even with a month and a week and a half remaining, 2017 is officially the biggest box office year ever for horror movies.
Woo! Sorry, I had a painful burp.
I really thought we were going to end.
I know, and we're off today.
We are off today.
It's always
we haven't
are
done
intertwined.
This in a while.
I know.
We haven't seen each other in a while.
I also came barreling into this apartment like a monster. We've had no time to get it back into sync.
It's a.
We're normally
twinsies.
Night.
It's very late. We still have to record it. It's a thing.
It's a whole evening.
Scary movies have collected $733 million in ticket sales.
Woo!
It and Get Out, obviously, in the lead. It made $300 million and counting. Get Out made $175 million.
You said Get Out twice. Which one was which? It was the first one you said?
$300 million and counting. Get Out made $175 million.
Okay.
It sounded like I was saying it as in Get Out, but I was saying it as in the movie It. I should say Stephen King's It.
There you go.
It gets confusing. Then I have some really cool figures. So the biggest years for horror in each decade, in the 70s, it was 1973, $232.9 million thanks to The Exorcist. Thanks almost solely to The Exorcist.
Oh my gosh, of course.
For that year. If it weren't for that movie, 1979 would have taken it because they had Amityville Horror and Alien. But Exorcist took it all home. The biggest year of the 80s was 1987, had $293.6 million. 1987 had Elm Street 3, Nightmare on Elm Street 3. The Lost Boys and Predator came out that year. So that was a good year. Yeah. The 90s was 1999. $574.6 million thanks to the Blair Witch Project, which made $140.5 million on its own, which is insane because their budget was $39.
They made it with dirt. That's how the film was made.
Then the very next year, actually, 2000, the year 2000, horror movies made $617.7 million. The Scream parody movie, Scary Movie, made $157 million. And it ranked number 9 for the year money-wise, followed directly by What Lies Beneath at number 10. So
nuts.
Two
What
movies.
Lies Beneath is one of my favorites. Such a good one.
Harrison Ford. I'm so ready, though, for a horror movie, revolution. I'm hoping...
Yeah, I agree.
I just want filmmakers to go back to the basics. I want CGI fucking out of here. Gone. Just
That's what
get
they're
rid
doing
of
wrong,
it.
honestly.
Please.
Go back to the classics.
I want suspense back. I want original ideas. I say that coming right off of saying, I'm excited for Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Right.
I'm hoping that seeing all this money going towards horror is going to give up up-and-coming horror writers and horror directors and horror producers a little bit more of a platform and a shot to make some really incredible movies. Yeah. We're just going to have to sift through the reboots and rip-offs and sequels that are sure to come out before the good stuff. Because that's the thing, is they're making all this money, which means, Cujo's going to be next. Right. And it's I just hope we get some good originals.
We do need some original ideas. Yeah, because Blair Witch Project... Put some pennies together and you'll make $1 million.
Put some pennies together. Get a good idea. I guarantee Hollywood is just drowning in horror movie scripts. Totally. Just waiting to be made. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping that this record-breaking year for horror movie is going to put some money into the pockets of the people trying to make these movies, because I'm dying here.
And I feel they just haven't found that script with the original idea. It's probably at the bottom of the pile, and they just keep being reboot. Yeah.
Or they find the script with the original idea, and then they put all their money towards, special effects, CGI'd special effects, and it's I'm really scared of that very obviously not real monster in the room.
Right. Exactly. It just doesn't
I'm not scared.
Doesn't make for the same experience. You got to go back to practical effects, guys. It's what creeps people out.
Or even, Blair Witch Project, not to keep going back to that one, but that's one of the scariest movies ever made. It's a great example. There's no effects. Because there's nothing to see. You don't see anything.
Which makes it that more
so much scarier.
That's why the movie Mama sucks, because the movie Mama, she's revealed right away, and she's revealed right away, and before she's revealed, I was horrified. I was about to pee my pants because I couldn't see her, and I was like, what's happening in this house? And then I saw her and was like, oh, we still have like 2 hours.
Yeah, and she's scary looking, but then it's just like, you see her so much.
So much. It's like, and then you're you're kind of like, oh, Mama.
Mama, hi. Hi, Mama.
Hi, friend.
She's like a roommate.
Yeah, she's like your bestie.
She's like your best friend by the end of it.
All right, well, it's time for Lauren's Derp Corner. Oh, that was a fun hair flip.
That was fun. I liked it.
This is like the dumbest story that I've ever said. Well, no, that's not true. Well, I've had some like really dumb and weird ones. This one is just like
the stupidest.
Right, it's just real dumb. So I actually think the Guinness Book of World Records is cool. Like there are some crazy talents and cool things that people have done. But then I came across this one, was like, why and who cares and when? So a man just broke the Guinness Book of World Records record by stuffing 459 straws in his mouth at once. And he's an Indian man. Wait, where's his name? Manoj Kumar Maharana. He's 23, and he broke the record by stuffing the straws into his pie hole, and he was allowed to use elastic bands around them, and he could only use his hand once to stuff them in, but then had to take his hand away, couldn't use his hand to hold them in, and had to hold it for at least 10 minutes without them moving around or coming out. 459 colorful straws, and before that it was 400 straws by some guy in Germany, and he looks real dumb. I don't know if it'll pick it up. Oh.
So good luck breaking that.
There's his straws. Look at those colorful things. So that's him.
Okay. I feel like the only thing that would make that dumber is if they were all cigarettes.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I think I would like it more.
Yeah, I'd be like, that's
I'd be more interested. I just hate that he was like, I can't wait to break that straw record. But also, the one impressive thing I will say is like, he really like stretched out his mouth. Like you see it curling way up there.
Do you think he trained?
I feel like you had to have.
You have to.
You start with like a small chunk and then a bigger chunk and blah, blah, blah. So,
do you think that there are people that like read the Guinness Book of World Records and like go through all the world records and just find ones that they're like, I could break that, and then they just like
go so hard? Yeah, I think so. And they're just like, I'm gonna prep
just
for
like
this.
You know, like the one Corey, I believe, during A Family Affair, the dog with the longest tongue. Like, that's just kind of like...
That just happens.
That's a long
and there's
tongue.
Like,
we should
world's
talk about
tallest man. Like, there's tons where it's just like, oh, that happened.
And then
and it's cool.
It's like,
and you're
longest
in there.
burp.
Right. You really got to work for that one. I think Ashley is already on the way. Yeah, I just like... And maybe someone's going to watch this and be like, I think that's fucking cool that he did that, Lauren. You shut your mouth. But I saw it and was just like, I can't believe... This is like this big celebrated news story that this guy put a bunch of straws in.
How many sites did you find it on?
It was on quite a few. Like,
really?
if you Google his record, like, it keeps popping up and everyone's like, you see this guy in India? And I'm like,
did you see the straws?
No, because I don't care.
No, because that's ridiculous.
And then this one isn't a story, but it's definitely, like, derpy, and I wanted to tell everyone to watch it if you haven't, which it went viral last week, so you may have seen it. But have you seen the Japanese game show Slippery Stairs?
Yes. It was
posted everywhere on Facebook. Yeah, and I just wanted to tell, this was more like a public service announcement, and it fit in with Derp Corner. Watch it if you had not.
Video.
It's literally
ridiculous.
Every player is just in like latex rainbow suits and they're climbing like slippery
but everyone's like
stairs.
in different colors. Like
they're not in rainbow.
And like a purple person and a blue person.
Right.
And it's like who's gonna make it to the top of the slippery stairs first.
And it's
I would watch every episode of this show. It would be the same thing.
I don't know if you're hearing us say this and you're like, that doesn't sound that good. Trust me, when you watch the video, you won't be able to take your eyes off it. I was so into it. Alex had it pulled up on the computer and I couldn't look away. And one of the guys almost got to the top and then slid all the way down. And I was like, no! I was so invested.
No!
It's the weirdest game show. I mean, a lot of Japanese game shows are a little off the wall, but this one is amazing. You all have to watch it. Slippery Stairs.
Slippery Stairs.
Don't
miss it.
Is
it called Slippery Stairs?
Yep.
Don't miss it. Tune in next week for
Slippery stairs.
Actually, we decided we're not doing This Week in Weird anymore. We're just going to do a weekly recap
of Slippery Stairs. Oh my gosh, we'll talk about who's our favorite color, like who we think is like the strong one.
Yeah, the strong one, the handsome one, the flirty one.
This could be so fun.
That's it.
This is it. We're changing everything. So I hope you've enjoyed Keep It Weird, but we're changing it.
This Week in Weird and Keep It Weird, but it's over. Next week, so here's the thing. We have 2 more episodes this season. They're both going to be so good. Neither of them is going to come out on time. But not because we're lazy or whatever. So tonight, we're actually just about to leave. What time is it? 8:12? Oh, God. Yes, we have to go. We're late. We are going to Pasadena right now. We're going to record Very Special Television with the guys of
Very Special Television.
Bestman Media. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to be talking about a very weird, supernatural, paranormal episode of Family Matters. And then next week, we are actually teaming up with a YouTube collective. I'm not quite announcing what the episode is yet, but it's involving a paranormal investigation and interview, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so we'll have audio and video of that one, which is really exciting. Yeah. So lots of crossovers and collaborations happening. It's worth the wait. Sorry, we're not going to be.
Sorry, we're not on time. Not
in your podcast inbox. No, it's not. So. No, we can't.
It's out of our hands.
But it's going to happen, and it's so exciting.
We have to go. We are so late. Thank you for joining us.
Keep it weird.
Keep it weird. That was a very long wave.